Okay, David, your show is live.
Hi, everyone, and welcome everyone to a new show. I hope we get some new people on, and I've got some big topics to talk about today. And unusually, I was thinking, excuse me, that it would be great to discuss an issue that Teal Swan was discussing this week, and I did have a look at what she said, so I just want to give her just give her credit for some of the ideas that she shared, and I don't want to, if I do repeat anything she said, it's with giving her credit. Her name is Teal Swan. But before we begin, I just want to start with something more energetic to actually lead to real transformation for all of us. So everyone who is able to close their eyes, if you're driving or you're working or you're busy, don't do this. It's just for people who can take time out and close your eyes if you're able to. And just checking within you how you are feeling, how you're breathing. Taking a moment to connect to the ground, to the earth, through your feet, imagining a grounding cord that connects you deep into the earth, perhaps to the center of the earth. And now allowing all your stress, all your tension, all your worries, all your conflicts, everything bothering you, allowing that all to enter into the earth. Let go of all of that stress, all of those thoughts, emotions, feelings. Let go of all of it into the earth. And now deepening your breath, inviting in the present moment, inviting it in with grace and gratitude, focusing on the highest good, the highest outcome for yourself, for the world, for all people and beings involved, the highest timeline, the highest pathway, invoking that energy. Bringing peace and stillness into yourself through your breath. Slowing down the breath. And when you're ready, you may gently open your eyes, coming fully into the present moment. So welcome everyone. I'm doing some YouTube lives at times. I did used to do some meditations. I do a couple of weekly meditation classes. So if anyone is interested, feel free to email me or contact me. You can even put your email or in the comments, although that's available for everyone. So maybe not. I'll just ask Debbie to write my email in the comments. So if anyone is interested in any of those offerings, you can find me that way. Also, I do have a meditation channel on YouTube, so I can create meditations, and there are meditations available there that are freely available at any time that's appropriate. So sorry about coughing. I'm just having, I really need to breathe, do my breathing exercises, because I'm a bit chesty today. The topic that I'm going to begin with is something I mentioned before. It's the trend of being woke. It's something that's spreading across humanity at the moment. This wokeness is what it's called. And it's become almost like a religion or ideology. It's definitely not a spiritual consciousness, unfortunately. The idea of virtue signaling or window dressing or pretending to be good is not being good. So that's really important to highlight to everyone. Pretending to be good is not being good. So, and I've probably been part of this movement because it's happened in parallel to social media, and I've also been part of that movement in seeing something virtuous, a picture on Facebook, for instance, that's really lovely. Oh, save the world, love everyone, and sharing this with my audience, sharing this with other people. And I genuinely believe the things I share with people. There is an aspect of virtue signaling, saying, because I'm sharing this picture, I am good, which isn't really true, because sharing a picture is not ultimately an act of goodwill. So there's a couple things in the comment sections you can look at. So when you're sharing something, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I'm not saying don't share things. Just realizing the difference between virtue signaling or showing a picture on social media, I'm such a good person, versus actually doing something good, helping your neighbor, helping a friend, helping a stranger across the road, smiling at the checkout counter of the supermarket or wherever you shop, gifting a stranger something, whatever it is. There's so many acts of goodness in the world, and as an individual, there's an infinite number of good things you can do. But also within your heart, what is in your heart? Because virtue signaling says, oh, I'm so good, but actually in your heart you could be someone really evil. And unfortunately, a lot of this is led by business, money, corporations who virtue signaling, saying, oh, we're so good, but the people who are running those organizations are manipulating, and they're not necessarily coming from goodness. And we really need to think of this a spiritual consciousness of awakening as the goal for humanity, and question and analyze and be intelligent about what actual awakening is. Because there's many definitions, but ultimately it's a state of consciousness that is advanced and advancing and able to advance. And if we persecute people on the basis of their viewpoints, persecuting people is not allowing conversation. And it's not allowing the healing and transformation that could come from having an honest conversation. But also, there's a principle that peace is the way to peace, that war is not going to bring peace. The act of war, fighting, is not a principle that creates the energy of peacefulness. And this is present with this woke religion, because persecuting people and shutting people down, and hi Catherine, shutting people down is not a way to allow them to speak, and not a way to healing and transformation. Healing and transformation has to come from truth. It has to come from truth. There's got to be an actual recognition of a pattern, recognition of an injustice, and an honest and heart-based desire to change that situation. The promoters of all this virtue signaling are certainly not authentic. It seems like a lot of them come from Hollywood, and we really need to question. I'm not saying everyone in Hollywood is bad, but we really need to question Hollywood in general. And when people who happen to be a famous actor or actress or whatever it may be, producer, come along and tell people what they should think, And I've seen this a lot. It's really questionable. These people are maybe talented, but they tend to be super wealthy and have very high fences, and tend to be incredibly ego-based and selfish, and sending out a message that they are good people, they are virtuous, is just their motivation and motives. It's really to be questioned, and it's not authentic generally. So promoting virtue signaling is not leading to actual shifts in behavior, which come from the internal. And we also need to look at historic patterns and history and realize that because your grandparents were a certain ethnicity or whatever, it's not your fault. You cannot be blamed for your grandparents or your great grandparents or people going back generations. And it's historically not even accurate, because where do you start? Where do you stop? It's always, you've got to really think, well, where did suffering begin? And it's you just go around in circles and don't get anywhere, because everyone has suffered. Every family has had suffering. And if you go back to the Middle Ages, for instance, a few hundred years ago, the statistics on death is pretty tragic. Babies pretty much, I mean, it was something like 25% died in childbirth, and the mother, I think the mother would often die in childbirth. So there's such a, I don't have the statistics on me, but I have seen that before, where the number of people dying in history was pretty astonishing, particularly mothers and babies. So the idea that somehow there's one group that are the victims and everyone else is sort of persecutors, or there's a villain. The idea that there's a villain and some kind of victim is a very limited one and a very narrow archetype. We got to look at the patterns of division. Or what is this division meaning? Vilification of other people. How does that end up? We know historically the pattern of vilifying others, where that ends up in pretty horrible places. Is that really conscious? Is that really awakening? It's spiritually conscious? No, it's not real awakening. These are acts or pathways of egoic unconsciousness. This is egoic unconsciousness. And some of it may have begun as virtuous. Perhaps there were virtuous goals. And I don't doubt that some people in these movements have some virtuous goals. But when they became authoritarian, judgmental, and started to persecute other people for disagreeing with their beliefs, then it becomes destructive. These ideologies are being masked. They wear a mask of virtue. Wearing a mask of virtue is, as I said previously, is not actually being virtuous. So something like racism disguised as anti-racism is not helping people. An attack on health and well-being disguised as being pro-health is not helping. The rigid dogma wants conformity. It wants people to conform, and yet it's demanding inauthenticity. It's demanding deceit, and it's a type of collective gaslighting. So gaslighting is something I'm sure a lot of you are aware of. It seeks to bring down opposition, other viewpoints, suppress other viewpoints, and make those other viewpoints irrelevant. So virtue signaling and this new type of authoritarianism is also based on zero tolerance. I'm just reading the Mary Kenneth. I don't really understand that, Kenneth. Sorry, could you repeat that? Info Entertainment, could you share your name? Because I think we heard from you before last week. Info Entertainment. Yeah, we just need the name for reading. And I do invite any new people to come online, and you've particularly everyone is welcome. Bushra. Okay, well, thanks for sharing your name, because that does help. Just to continue what I was talking about wokeness, the trend of wokeness that forces compliance, and it forces a type of tolerance by authoritarian measures, which are essentially intolerant. Catherine Yi Barakwa, thanks for the comments. Yeah. So essentially what I'm talking about is being fake and demanding fake change versus real change. And fake change, this is the product of the ego. It's raising up the ego. The idea of cancel culture is to bring down free speech. It's to not allow people the ability to speak freely. And ultimately, we've all experienced unfairness, and we know how challenging that is. And we do need to look at this topic of unfairness and look at it seriously and with integrity and genuine love and compassion. But blaming other people and manipulating outsiders to change per certain groups' demands, it's not promoting healing. This is a victim mentality that ultimately sees wounded people who are feeling bitter, feeling a lot of unfairness, trying to take revenge by weaponizing their resentment. And also the idea of being a victim has become glorified. So everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants to be a greater victim. And we start to compete for victimhood instead of understanding the truth that everyone suffers. Everyone has suffered throughout history. And this human planet is not created fairly and is filled with suffering. That's the basis of dukkha, which is a Buddhist idea, which is pretty much the foundational teaching of the Buddha, that life is suffering, life is dukkha. And understanding what a victim is, that we're all victims of life. We all have to face that truth. But there are real victims, as in, depending on how you use the word victims, there are real victims and people who really got a raw end of the stick. And when we create all this confusion, these people who really had something very unfair happen to them, we reduce that by making everyone a victim. So what I'm saying is that we're all victims on some level, but we need to define what we mean by victim and really understand that certain people, it's become a bit of a joke when everyone's competing to be a greater victim. It doesn't promote healing and transformation. We also need to look at the archetypes and what they mean and what they are. The archetype of the victim and the villain. So it's really easy for people to look at being a victim and then look at the villains and then trying to take revenge on the villains. It's really easy to do that, and seeking to be a great virtue signaler is almost like seeking to be a hero. So victim, villain, and hero are the archetypes at play here. So how do we counteract these energies? How do we work towards awakening? How do we understand and frame these polarities? So it's very important to be very clear that the Earth is a dualistic planet of great complexity, that we are in a light versus dark battle, and the light is winning. It just takes time. because nobody is perfect, we always have to be careful of this idea of a hero. Just like we have to be careful of this idea of a victim, we have to be careful of this idea of a hero, because these narrow black and white ideas really don't highlight reality. They don't highlight the world as it is, where each person has light and dark within them. Each person has victim and hero within them. It's complexity is the order of the day. And even in our justice system, when someone breaks a law, how punitive are some of the laws, and how unforgiving are we with amongst people who break laws? Because in the heat of the moment, someone could do something totally out of order, totally out of their personality, their ethics, their heart. It could be something, even with a lot of mental illness, I know people do things that they have no conscious volition, no conscious control over. So we have to be really careful with judging others, and we also have to balance that with forgiveness. So unfortunately, in a lot of countries, there's very little ability for people to gain some kind of healing and transformation from after they've been imprisoned, after they've gone into the justice system. It's like close the door on them, close the door on their life, give them no hope, give them nothing. Rehabilitation is something possible. Even someone who's done something really, really horrible, it's important that we have a principle of forgiveness and allowing opportunities for people to be rehabilitated, to re-enter society. Because in a lot of societies, if someone has a prison record, they're not allowed to get a job. No one will give them a job. So it's kind of like unnecessarily punitive. If they've been in jail for a few years, they've done their sentence, and then they're not allowed to re-enter society because people will not forgive them. People will not allow them opportunities. So we really have to look at mental health as a vital principle for all of society, for all of the justice system, and for how things are going. We have to look at where we come from. We are a galactic species. We're not alone in the universe. And I was reading something really interesting that I wanted to share with you, that human beings are the synthesis of other species, other galactic species. So as a mutation, we're an experiment, and we're here for a purpose for our entire universe. And if we create peace amongst ourselves and peace within ourselves, that energy is broadcast throughout the universe. So that's a very, very powerful principle, that we are controlling or influencing universal balance. If we can find peace within ourselves and within our different groups, our different nationalities, we actually affect the collective. We affect the whole universe. So our impact and influence on the whole universe is important. Definitely there is a polarity within this universe, and it's important to acknowledge that polarity. But definitely it's important to soften perspectives. So I still see people getting very angry about another viewpoint, and often it's very tribal. So if it's someone outside of your tribe, I see tremendous anger about someone else having a perspective. And in a lot of countries, there's a political nature to this. Fortunately, in Australia, we don't really have this so much, this division. It's much less. But this division is not understanding and acknowledging how things work, and it's reducing the whole. So as a whole, see other perspectives as other perspectives, because that's all they are. They're not a personal attack on you. They're not invalidating your perspective. They're not a threat on you. I feel like people have deep down, they feel threatened and insecure in their own belief system. And that's why they are fighting against others and seeking to persecute people with other viewpoints. So it's really important to respect and honor other people's viewpoints. In America, for instance, there's so many issues that are coming up for analysis, and people looking at healthcare, health issues. They're looking at borders and immigration and women's empowerment, women's rights over things like abortion. But understand that all of these issues have different perspectives, and because you have a viewpoint doesn't mean that you know the entire truth of the situation, that you are like this giant of knowledge. That is just ego. So let me highlight that when you don't listen to other people, perhaps you're threatened by them, but you are just coming from ego. So really soften the ego, let go of the ego a bit, at least allow for a healthier ego, because an unhealthy ego creates a light and dark battle. It fosters polarity, and it's simply not true, because when I say it promotes a light and dark battle, it promotes the idea of a light and dark battle. So that is ego. It's not the actual light and dark battle. So if you think that you are right, that is coming from ego. That's righteousness. And if you think someone is wrong, that is coming from ego. That is coming from righteousness. The actual situation is complex and nuanced and allows for light and dark battle. But the idea that you're on the right side, that you're on the side of good, that is all ego. That is all ego, because every person, whoever they are and whomever they claim to be, they are imperfect. They are not some sort of mythical or saint, as in some of the religious traditions. They are a human being, and a human being is whole. A human being has many aspects and many behaviors that come from wanting to protect. There's an instinct for survival, for instance. So acknowledging natural instincts is also important, because if someone attacks you or you feel attacked, then your body may have an instinct to respond in a certain way, not even your mind. It can just be your body. So the principle here is letting go of the ego, and that's really important, acknowledging that we live in a dualistic universe. There is a light and dark battle, that there is this extraordinary idea that we are birthed from the cosmos, that our DNA has mutations, that our DNA has a synthesis from other beings, and we are here to as harbingers for peace for the whole universe. So we can affect the collective. And looking at things like intergenerational trauma, issues of the past that come up for healing, that's really important. That's affecting the collective. So instead of virtue signaling, let's actually look within ourselves and heal what's really going on within us, and understand that having a victim mentality is certainly not healing and doesn't bring society forward. Being wounded is one thing. It's how we recognize that woundedness and what we do with it. Do we seek healing and transformation, or do we blame other people and weaponize our resentment? So that's my goal in the readings, is to shift perspective. For me, that's the most important part of my work, is to help people shift perspective, look at where things are coming from, look at the source of things, and gain a higher perspective. So I hope that gives you some framing and some perspective on what's going on in the world, and some perspective on yourself. I am looking at the comments, so please feel free to comment. I will do some readings as soon as I've read the comments. So Catherine Barakwa, we'll start with Catherine. I think Catherine's new over here. So welcome, Catherine. And I'm still catching up with these comments. Yeah, so ego, perhaps we'll do another show just on ego, because it's such a huge aspect of life. And you can often say, am I acting out of ego, or am I acting out of genuine concern, genuine truth, genuine love, genuine compassion? All right, so I'm just going to pick some cards for Catherine. So feel free to send some comments, and I'll have a look at the comments section. And thank you so much for Catherine for the donation. That's really wonderful. And if people would like more information about me, please have a look at the website, have a look at the YouTube channel. I am happy to share more. And I do tend to look for new people. So Maria, I see you commented there. I'm tending to look for new people just because I'm looking for, my goal is healing and transformation, and looking at new things. So also, if you have a specific question, also feel free to ask a specific question, because my guides tend to bring me things that come from a fresh place. So Catherine, welcome. I love your topic today. So we're just focusing on Catherine. And it also helps everyone to have your name, your full name, your picture would help, just so I can get a sense of you and see your energy. Because if it's not your real name, or it's some kind of what do you call it? I don't know what you call those things. A picture of something that's not you. It's not very clear that the right message will come for you. So I'm just looking at a question. I missed that. And where was that? But so Bashra, I'm just looking at your comment. I thought that was important, that the ego can hurt someone so bad. Yeah, but I agree with that. It can hurt other people as well. So in hurting other people, you're hurting yourself. It's quite destructive, and it's a big factor. I think in so much of life. And I think if you look at politics and you look at media, often the type of people in high positions have a very big ego. So we need to look past that, and also sometimes choose leaders that are more humble. And you also wrote, Bashra, where in Australia am I? So I'm coming from Queensland, Australia. I live along the Great Barrier Reef in a town called Port Douglas. So Catherine's, I'm still picking cards for you. So just clearing the energy now and opening up a portal for Catherine Ibarakwa. Okay. So the first card that's popped up for you, Catherine, is taking action. So it's really important that you take this step, take this new step in your life. Don't keep thinking and overthinking. Actually, I see the importance of you launching, of you actually. It's almost like you held in this in a womb, or I don't know the right terminology to explain this, but you're in this like fetal position, and I feel like it's essential that you open up, not just physically but emotionally, spiritually, with your consciousness. Inhale, exhale, and let go of all the fear and actually dive into the unknown. So I get a very strong feeling that right now the path for you is to move, is to take action. I see blossoming and abundance coming from this step. So once you break free from limitation, from the limitations that you've imposed on yourself, and I see blossoming abundance. So I see a very positive move and momentum for you, where everything looks much brighter than where you are now. So action is the most important thing. There's something that's crossing over you, and what's crossing over you is the energy of envy. So you're looking at other people and you're thinking, oh, I want to be like her. I want to be like that person. And that's not helping you at all, because you will work for the results that you create. You have been, once you break free of those shackles, you will be able to move forward. So trust your intuition, and you'll get results from your hard work. You deserve the results you get. There's an almost like a white horse within you that is just wanting to. I'll show you this card. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, you can't see it properly. Yeah, sorry about that. I just can't show you that card. But there's a white horse there, and that white horse wants to be free. So freedom is really important, that you break free of these limitations, and that those limitations have served you. So it's not like you've been totally in a lost place. It's just you've been held back, and it's time to break free of those shackles, break free of those limitations. But as I said, what's crossing over you is looking at other people. It's a lack, it's a dissatisfaction with the present moment. So it's showing me that you're dissatisfied. You're not. You have a sense of real lack at the moment. That's crossing over you, and it's saying that until you let go of that and break free, you're going to be stuck in a jealous place and not acknowledging the blessings that you already have. So it's time to shift your focus, Catherine, because when you envy others, it attracts more to them and not to you. So thank the universe for what you have. Sit in a state of gratitude. But I really want to highlight that action is what's called for. And the more action you take, the more you realize that you are the creator of your reality, that blessings are coming to you by your action. So you don't need to be victim of your experience. You can take action and get results. So this is really positive. But it does take energy. It's not going to just, you can't just let go and be passive. It's saying really take the reins on your life and really move forward. So I'm going to pick from the Starseed Oracle and see if there's a final message for you, Catherine. Okay, so we've got a Star Keeper message for you that's come through, and it's encouraging you to stay grounded, and it's saying that you're here to anchor and seed your light in your own unique ways. So what's important with that message is that you have a unique essence, a unique energy, a unique vibration, and that's actually important for the whole. And instead of seeing yourself as separate from or different from other people or not having what other people have, realize that you have it all within you. And your life may not appear like other people because you have a unique path. So appreciate and celebrate your uniqueness. And you're part of this planetary shift that's happening, the planetary evolution. And you're here for this change. So stay really grounded, but really appreciate your unique imprint, your unique soul, and understand you're part of this collective that's bringing about a shift in frequency. And you're part of this. You're part of this glory. So instead of focusing on all that you're not, what's really important is to focus on this incredible energy that you have and anchor it in the earth. Anchor it in the earth. You're here for a purpose. Stay as grounded as possible. And that's a really positive message for you, Catherine. And as I said, the key for you is, I just want to shake any fears out of you and encourage you to launch. Now is the time for action. So sometimes we need a bit of tough love, and maybe that's a bit of tough love for you, Catherine, or maybe not, but I'm sending lots of love and light to you. And is there anyone new who has a question or they want a reading? Just looking at the comments. I think, Bashra, you had a question. So thank you, Bashra. Thank you, Debbie. So we're going to talk about Bashra. We're going to just check the cards. All right. So Bashra, there's a wonderful thing in your cards, which is opportunity, possibility. Possibility is the word. So you don't have a single path lined up for you right now. You actually have different options. So I want you to enter a state of wonderment like a child that's playing in a field, and pick up a flower and just love that energy of the flower, love that vibration of the flower and the grace and present moment awareness that brings you. Instead of looking outside of yourself and wondering, where is the perfect destination, because within you have all the answers already. You have all the possibilities. So there isn't a perfect country for you. What this is saying is that possibilities are abundant. So possibilities are abundant. So it's like there's a field of flowers out there. That's what I'd say. And I'm just going to pick some more cards for you, Bashra. Just clearing the energy. So immediately there's a couple of cards that spring up. So you're looking, what I was talking about before about looking at being in a field of flowers. I feel like you're looking from a gate and you're looking out from a gate, looking out at the flowers. And what it's telling me is that you need to walk away. You need to go on a journey. So instead of waiting and waiting and waiting, you've got to take this first step. The first step is really important, that instead of looking at the garden or looking at the field from the gate from a distance, it's important that you step into the garden, you step into the field. All the flowers are there for you, but you need to take the step. So you are surrounded by love at the moment. That the journey card has popped out for you. The journey card is saying yes, movement, relocation, travel. That's happening for you. Pack your bags and start to travel. So they are the opportunities are out there. It's just saying that you're on a journey, and it's going to be exciting and inspiring ahead. So visualize the message. I am attracting wonderful new adventures to me. My life is a blessing, taking me to new places inside and out. There is love around you. So this is a wonderful time for you. A lot of openings for you, Bashra. And that's really exciting. I'm just wondering if there's anywhere, because it seems more, it doesn't seem like you need to go to one place. It seems like you need to plan more of a journey. See it as a journey without being stuck or without singling out one place. But there's a compassion and affection and tenderness as well. But in terms of actual destination, it's going to be interesting, because there's almost like I'm seeing different places on the map. Spain, I saw. England, I saw. Dubai, I saw. And I'm seeing the Middle East as well. So I don't see a single place for you at the moment. I'm going to get an outcome card and see if there's anything. It's clear that you're on the right track. Get really clear on your intentions and then take a step. So don't keep waiting. It feels like things are being woven for you. You do need to wait a little bit, so it's not happening today. A little bit of a wait, things will become a bit more clear. So that's what the outcome card is. It's saying make your plans. Things are happening for you in the background, and future locations. Opportunities will come. So I'm just reading your comments, Bashra. So be patient, you are on the right track. There's something being woven for you in the background. So just wait until things become clear. Okay. All right, we're going to move on to Marie. And I'm just going to read Marie. Okay. So Marie, I feel like steady on. I'm not seeing a dramatic shift or change at the moment. Just steady on. And I'm seeing Bashra, just wait for now. And as I said, there's a lot of opportunities coming up for you. But Spirit will show a lot of things. At the timeline, it could be 10 years. Do you know what I mean? So don't think it's all happening at once. Just be patient, take your time. Marie, just going to move on to Marie now. And for Marie, let's have a look at your cards, Marie. Marie's. So the cards are not they're not telling you that you're going to have a big change right now. It's showing me a lot of anxiety. So let's just tune into the anxiety. Yeah, so there's worry that's causing you some distress, Marie. There's a worry that's I really feel like it's important that you share with other people, with your loved ones and friends. I see that friends can support you and put your mind at rest, because there's a lot of brooding kind of energy, and just slow down a little bit and release the worry. You can access some meditations on my YouTube channel, because all this worry is not going to solve things. So trust in yourself more, in the process more, and when you have a relaxed heart and mind, you're far more likely to receive the solutions that you're seeking. So it just feels like this fear and worry is holding you back a little bit. So let go of that and just focus on the best outcome, most peaceful outcome, and keep saying to yourself, all is well as I follow my higher path. So there isn't a dramatic shift coming in your finances that I saw in the cards, but definitely the worry is holding you back, and it's not helping you come up with creative solutions. Important that you seek out caring connections, share with friends, share with family, and that will help you soften. And there is potential for partnerships. I do see partnership coming up, and so there's opportunities to form deeper bonds. So just be open to those opportunities. And definitely it's important that you don't overthink this, just because you won't be in the right mindset if you're in fear. So trust that things are working for you, that things will work out. There may be a new connection coming your way through a friend. So just, you may be introduced to someone through a friend, but really open up, really trust that it's safe for you to open up. So safety to express yourself, to share with other people. That's really going to help things unfold for you. And I'll pick an outcome card from the Starseed Oracle, and let's see if there's any final messages for you, Marie. I have a friend named Marie. Okay. So what I get about you, Marie, is that you also looking at other people, and it's holding you back. So realize that you have your own sort of soul friends, that people that are resonate with your energy, and focus on those people, not on people who are not in resonance with you. So put your energy in the people that get you. I would say that's really important. And just realize, being yourself is wonderful and beautiful. You don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to try to be anyone else. Just be yourself. It's really strongly saying that embracing who you are is the most important thing for you right now. That you're kind of wasting precious time and gifts on people who don't get you, and trying to convince others of your value. Don't try and convince anyone. Just be yourself, and sit in a sacred place of understanding your magnificence from the whole place. And maybe if you feel something that you're different from other people, embrace that difference. That's something special. So don't see it as something bad. Embrace, and that's an important message for everyone. Embrace your uniqueness, embrace your difference. We are all unique. We're all here on a unique mission, and by being like someone else, we're not being ourselves. We're not being our authentic selves, and we're not we're putting up fences on what spirit can bring us, because for us to be abundant, it's important that we are our whole self, our true self, our authentic self. And Maria, I'm just reading your comments. I tried too hard for people to accept me. So that's a beautiful acknowledgement. And I'm really getting a strong feeling that that's an important statement for you to make, Maria, and to really embody who you are, and shift your behavior, shift your perspective, that you realize that you are beautiful, you are wonderful as you are, not trying to be like someone else, because it's never going to work. We can never really be someone else. It's not possible. It's an impossible goal. And often when if you were to enter another person's life that you think has everything, that you think you want to be like them, you often be quite disappointed. And you'll be like, oh, okay. Actually, I prefer my life. I don't want to be like that person, because often even people who are very successful, the kind of role they've had to take, the kind of actions they've had to take to gain success are not necessarily the type of actions that you would wish to partake in. And even I know some people who work 16 hours a day, 20 hours a day, Elon Musk or someone like that. And that's wonderful for him. But would you like to be working 20 hours a day? How would you feel about working 20 hours a day? So yes, fame and fortune and success and whatever it is that success means, because it's an individual concept. Success for one person could mean raising their arm up. For them that's success. It's all relative. But the understanding of that we want to be what other people are is just often when you will enter into their life, you would be like, no, I don't want to work 20 hours a day. I really don't. So be yourself. That's the ultimate message that's most important. Be who you are. Be your authentic self. Focus on coming from a whole place. And you can bring your own power back to your life. You can call back your power and keep bringing that power back into your expression of your soul, your expression of yourself. So reclaim your own power. Your own power is not in Elon Musk or in some other figure, whoever it is you admire, Rihanna or Ariella Grande or whatever, whoever it is that you think is the bee's knees, you think is wonderful. You're losing power like that. So bring back your own power, and your own power lies in being your authentic self. So the more you can shine your light and express yourself from an authentic place, the more you can be you in the world and express you-ness, express your unique soul, the more you will be able to accomplish more in life. You'll be able to bring your power forward. So activate your power by being authentic, and that's really the secret to everything. It's not in being someone else, it's being you, but being the best you that you can possibly be. So that's all for today, unless there's any new people, any new comments. Excuse the coughing. So everyone, today I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here. I really appreciated your presence and your contribution. And next week we will be on at the same time. So feel free to share with your friends and build a little community here. And bring your questions, bring your comments. You can also contact me, which would be great, so I can interact with you. My offerings are on YouTube. There's a YouTube channel where you can find me, and let me know if you have any specific requests. We can also look at that. And that's the end of the show. Thank you everyone for your attendance, and thank you also for Debbie for facilitating in the background. So thank you very much for Debbie as the producer of the show. And I think that's everything for now. So goodbye everyone, and thank you again. See you next week. Have a lovely week. Wishing you a beautiful week.